This broadcast is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Siding.
Oh, look at Mike Taylor with a smile that only sweetbread can provide.
Oh, yeah.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. We will be talking with our mouths full for a little while here. We think we might. This is the 3 Cents Podcast with, I think, 2 sweetbreads for every cent that we have there. Here in the corner booth at Mi Familia, right off I-10 in Camp Bullis. So great to have you along.
Cheers,
myself,
everybody.
Ernie Zuniga, Cleto Rodriguez, Mike Taylor, and a shout-out to Integrity Roofing and Siding. And maybe we'll save a piece of bread for Ronnie and Stephanie Suarez. I don't know. We can't promise anything, but there's a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah, man.
I'm supposed to be eating better as I grab a fork
Your agent's not going to be happy with
and
you.
prepare. Well, they say the camera adds 10 pounds, and we have 3 cameras here. So what does that mean?
That's right.
What does that mean? But good thing I have a
little bit of everything. That's why we're
Poco
sharing
de todo.
it. We're
There's a
sharing
little poquito
it.
de todo here.
Yeah, so we don't get the whole bulk of it. So.
Our friends at Mi Familia just moments ago
Absolutely.
dropped this, and I don't know if I'm going to mess up LG's camera shot, but here is the greatness.
Look at that.
The greatness that is.
That
I want
is
this one.
Yeah, you can have it. You can have it. So we will be munching on this throughout the duration of the podcast here. But I know the other day when we were here, we were talking, and Mike had a story about his experience at Buc-ee's and customer service where, and he told his story on the air, and he ended up getting a $50 Buc-ee's gift card, and it's all good now. But the subject of customer service and just incidents. I know my late mother was always a big, she taught me, to appreciate good customer service. She used to do this years ago when I was a kid. We would be, I'll never forget, we were eating at Pancho's Mexican Buffet.
Ponchos.
On
Raise
Marbach.
the flag.
Oh, my gosh, on Marbach. And we had our table eating, and we had all of our food and everything. And then my mother got up at the end, pulled out a $5 bill, went across the room, the restaurant, and gave a tip to another waiter who had nothing to do with us, had never waited on was like in another part of the restaurant. And I was just like, what was that all about? And she said that she had been paying attention to this waiter and watching him hustle, and I don't know, he was cleaning tables and moving around, just doing everything, and that she was so impressed by just watching him work for that 40 minutes or whatever we were sitting down. Of course, we gave our server a tip, but she was so inspired or moved by that, she got up and gave. So to this day, when I see, I can't always do it, but when I see somebody just going way above and beyond, not expecting something, I think there was a little lesson there in customer service and just appreciating people who work hard and go above and beyond.
I'm that guy. I'm the one that will go the extra mile to make sure someone gets acknowledged for doing something special.
Right.
As to where my wife is not that person. And
Watch
she will,
it.
I'm just saying that, it's like the other day when we're talking about, certain things, the thing about customer service.
Yeah.
The other day I was at an establishment. Bill Miller's. Let's just say Bill Miller's.
Okay, let's just say.
Yeah, let's say Bill Miller's. I was going to get tea, right?
Okay.
And I asked, I said, light ice. The lady comes back, and she gives me a full thing of ice. It looks like an igloo in here. And I go, ma'am, it should be light ice. She goes, no problem, sir. Got it, switched it, gave it back to her. I go, ma'am, where's your manager? Where's your manager? She called the manager, and she has this crazy look on her face like, what did I do?
Oh, yeah, I'm in trouble
And I'm like,
now.
no, you're good. You're good. I said, ma'am, I just told her I wanted light ice. It was supposed to be light ice. She just said, no problem, got it for me, and that was it. I go, you don't know how refreshing that was to see someone not argue with me about, well, you said ice. I got that before. So to get that, I was really satisfied. And I said that, and it's just the littlest things. It was in the morning, had to make her day.
Yeah.
The rest of the day. You know what I mean?
Good way to start the day.
Good way to start the day. But the other day when Mike was telling his story, it was about putting someone on blast.
Right.
And if you've ever done something like that, I ran into one situation. It was kind of interesting because I was I was invited to perform at a friend's birthday party. And when I wind up going to this friend's birthday party, I wind up doing a joke, a brand new joke. I tried it out, and but it had a I guess it had a homophobic slur that my dad had said. And I even prefaced in the joke that my dad had said it.
Right.
But regardless, I said the joke. And a buddy of mine that I had known for years came up to me and he goes, man, Cleto, I thought I'd never see the day you would use your platform for hateful speech.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what he was talking about. And I
Right.
said, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, you just said this joke. And he said it wasn't funny. Now, telling a comedian your joke is not funny is like telling a cook your food stinks.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
sure.
that's kind of like, I gotta go. And all I said was, well, they laughed, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I said. And he goes, and he said, okay. And that was it. I didn't see him. I didn't hear him. Then I see my name is tagged on, and he put me on blast on the LGBTQ post and website and all this stuff. And
Right.
Oh, no.
the one thing that he didn't understand or he didn't take in consideration was the fact that a lot of my friends were his friends, and a lot of them came to my defense and saying that's not
know you.
Cleto, because if you know me, you know the fact that I don't my jokes are not offensive. I don't like them to be toward anybody.
Yeah.
And it's a clean act and then so on. So I went to him privately and I said, hey man, you know, these people are really coming at you. I mean, like I didn't mean to offend you. And I said, and I apologize
Yeah.
if I did. I really sincerely apologize. And I go, what was it about the joke? And he said, look, that word, I was bullied with it all my life.
Right.
And I said to him right then and there, I said, look, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will never do that joke again.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of friends of mine that are gay, and I don't want to offend them
LGBTQ.
either. And all the way across the board.
Sure.
And I said, I do not want to offend anybody. So
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I will never do that joke again. And he said, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I'm positive. And I never did, not to this day. And he wound up taking it down, because I told him it doesn't matter if you take it down or not.
Right.
I'm telling you that I will never do that joke again. And that was just between us, and he wound up taking it down, and that was it. And then years later, I saw him, I ran into him, and it was like nothing. It was like, hey, how you doing? You know,
Yeah.
it's no big deal. I forgave him, and he, you know, forgave me, and we're good. We're good. So
I love that you forgave him too. Let's
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
something clear here.
yeah,
Him going public with that before discussing it with you like a man was bullshit. Sorry to cuss on this show, but I try not to.
No. Okay.
Come to me as a guy, or
Yeah.
not even a man, just a person. But we are both men, so I'll say it that way. Man to man, come say, hey, man, let's talk it out. And before you go try to ruin, because you know what's going to happen when you go post this. What is your goal to post this on Facebook?
Right.
What is your goal there, buddy?
Cancel.
Your goal is to
Yeah.
get me, to ruin my life. Is that what you want? I was quoting my father, who's an old school Mexicano man,
Yeah.
trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't funny. My bad. Rather than we talk about it and I hit what you're saying before
Yeah.
we can even discuss it, boom, you're going to go bitch to everybody online. These people don't have the context. They weren't there. They didn't hear the joke. They
Right.
didn't hear the reception of it, whether it was wrong or not. Because, see, you apologized too, and you should have. That's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. So what if that club had reached out to – what if you've been blackballed in the local comedy scene here in town? What if the ACLU had gotten wind of that and they show up at your front door? I mean, what do you want? You want Cleto deported? I know you're from here, but it's trying to be funny.
Wait a minute.
What do you want? You want him sent to Canada? I mean, well, that's the thing. It's like people just want to run to the warfare that is their keyboard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With no consideration for the consequence of said. You know, it's not that I'm not even defending you. I'm saying
Yeah.
what the guy should have talked to you before. And of course, then he goes and takes it down. Oh, gee, thanks. Well, the damage is done. Holmes,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're
Yeah.
lucky you didn't. When was this?
This is years ago, man.
See, that's the key. This been months ago. I
No.
bet it's probably in the paper. Who was the poet laureate
Oh
that
yeah.
quoted something earlier this year?
Yeah.
I don't even know the word.
The city of San
It was
Antonio.
nuts.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
local.
yeah.
It was a
It was
local.
a few months ago.
It was
No, I
our
know.
laureate. He was
Yes.
quoting something.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
And ostensibly his career's over. You know, and we've entered new waters, especially when it comes to what we do. You know, we've had to evolve as broadcasters and hosts and comics. And that's good. The world changes. You know, what's offensive today may not be offensive in 50 years and vice versa.
Right.
And that's fine. I get that. If you have the maturity about you to evolve with society, that's good. But in turn, you shouldn't also just be destroyed at the same time. As a talk show host, I promise I'll evolve with the social mores. I promise. I'll try to get enlightened. Hopefully I'm getting a little bit smarter as every year goes by as a man.
Yeah.
If you'll promise not to, I don't know, ruin my entire life if you hear something you don't like on the radio or on YouTube, let's make a deal. Call me. A good example of this where I could have been in trouble.
Yeah.
I said something on the air years ago on the old radio station. Pissed off R.C. Buford something awful. Have I told you this story
I don't
before?
remember.
No.
But
All
R.C. Buford, the Spurs, well, he was
he was the
GM back then.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't even know what I'd said. So I did it. It was a random show. I get a call from Tom James, who was the Spurs head of PR. Still is. The great Tommy. And he's like, hey, R.C. wants to take you to lunch tomorrow.
Oh, my gosh.
Huh.
Uh-oh.
Out of nowhere. I've only had a quick conversation. How you doing? Nice to meet you, R.C. At this point, I've been on the air here probably 2 years.
Yeah.
And so I was in my 30s. This is years ago, and I didn't have any idea why. And then I get to the lunch, and I'm thinking, am I going to get promoted?
You're going to get a job.
They're going to hire me. Bill Schoening's leaving. I'm all excited. Turns out he was mad. I had said something about you guys remember Jan Mahimi?
Sure.
Jan Mahimi was a big guy. He had a cup of coffee here in town. He sprained his ankle one night, and they sent him back up to Austin to rehab because he was going back and forth. He was one of these two-way players that would go back and forth. He was a fringe guy at the end of the bench, but he was playing for Austin too. So he tweaks his ankle. He was rehabbing the ankle up in Austin, and I just read a blurb in the paper that simply said Spurs want Jan Mahimi to come finish his rehab here. It's taken a while for whatever reason. And I went on the air, and I'm like, I wonder why it's taken Jan so long to get healed. Well, maybe the Spurs are upset with the Austin medical people, so they're having him come back home to rehab that ankle here. Ooh, that made RC mad.
Really?
Because he felt like I threw the medical people in Austin under the bus. Oh. And he wanted to set the record straight, and he was very cool about it.
Okay.
And he's just, in that soft RC Buford voice, just wanted you to know, we didn't bring Jan back because we don't like how they're rehabbing. There were some other reasons why they brought Jan back.
Right.
That didn't get in the paper. And I told him, you know what? He could have had me fired. If he'd have raised enough hell with iHeart or Clear Channel in those days, he could have at least had me suspended. And I was the guy who replaced a previous show that all got fired for doing racist jokes on the radio, and making fun of homeless people. Do you remember that story?
You might have to refresh my memory.
Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So the reason I got this job is because the people ahead of me were racist and said some stuff about homeless people in this town, and it pissed the Spurs off something awful, and they fired him. So RC could have gotten me in way more trouble than I deserved to be in.
Yes.
I didn't mean to throw anybody under the bus.
Right.
I was wondering out loud, why is it taking this kid so long to heal it was a high ankle sprain, and those are bad. They can linger.
Yeah.
So they're going. I guess they want their own medical people here in town to look at him. Ooh, and it didn't sit right with RC. And I told him, you know what, RC, I respect you so much for bringing. You didn't have to bring me to lunch.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I said, look, here's my number. I said, RC, here's the thing, man. I may say 30,000 words a day on that radio show. It's all me. It's 3 hours. Mm-hmm. I am going to say factually. I'm going to say things factually that are incorrect on occasion. Mm-hmm. So here's my number. Call me. I don't want to be factually incorrect. I'm going to give opinions.
Yeah.
You may not like my opinion. You may not agree with my opinion.
Yeah.
But I told him, look, my show, it may be about you, but it is not for you. It's for your fans. It's for your constituents. But I don't want to be factually incorrect, so call me next time. I appreciate the steak, but just call me. And it was funny. I'm like, you don't even need to call Tom. Tom's sitting there.
James,
he's sitting right there. I'm like, don't even call him. Just call me. And Tom's like, wait a minute. Anyway, it was great. So
I give him credit.
He came to me man to man and told me I was wrong. And ever since then, he and we don't talk much ever. But there's a mutual respect when we see each other. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Hey, RC. And now he runs all of CEO. He's the CEO
he's been promoted
now. He's the CEO of the whole thing now. But that was an example of a guy who didn't like something I said, who was offended by it, that told me about it. And I realized when I got his context, I realized RC's right. I was wrong. I didn't have all the information in my defense, but I was still wrong. We talked it over. RC didn't bitch. He dn't call my program director. He didn't call Matt Martin my ops manager. He didn't, tell Tom James to reverse my credentials and, blackball me from the arena. But that's what people want to do now when they hear something they don't like or don't agree with. Or
they unfriend you when you don't believe in their political stance.
Well, you
that's
know
a
what? To
Facebook
hell
page.
with
Yeah,
it. You know,
that's a
and to hell
Facebook.
with it.
That's
you
the
know?
big thing right now.
Yeah, and by the way, how many people have complained about you on Facebook ever? Lots, probably, right? You've been blasted,
Yeah,
probably.
a
We all,
lot.
I know
Yeah,
I have.
I've been blasted.
Yeah.
How many of them have actually come up to you on the street and faced you?
Never.
None. So to hell with them. They're all
Or
a
how
bunch
many of them are surprised when you respond back? That's happened to me a
bunch
number of times
keyboard
before.
warriors, and I don't like to get confrontational with
Right.
Thunderdomers. But, you know, and lately, and it's happened a couple of times. It happened earlier this year. We made some changes on my other show, and it did not sit well with a lot of people, and I understand that. And that's cool. Let's have it out. Email me, comment with me, maybe unsubscribe. That's your right. It is what it is. But then you start saying stuff about about Nina.
Oh, yeah.
And then I saw, okay, that's when I reply.
That's-
That's like you told the story about Tammy the other day.
Yes, yes.
I had a similar situation with regards to Nina, who had zero to do with what was going on my show.
Right.
You know, and I jumped some ass
Yeah.
on DM. Yeah, I didn't do it publicly.
Yeah, okay.
Like a punk. It was private. I DM'd them. Hey, man, you're wrong. Here's why. And you're an asshole. And guess what? There was like 10 of them. 8 of them apologized. Sorry, I didn't have
Yeah.
the right information. Yeah, you didn't have the information. Right. So rather than be a big baller with your 22 followers on Twitter and put my girlfriend on blast for no reason, email me, bro. I'm fair game. I'm out there. Here I am. I'm the guy with the headphones on and the microphone. Blast me all you want. We can talk about it or not. Unsubscribe. Don't be a member. Never listen again. Blah blah blah. Although they always do listen.
They do.
They come back.
Usually.
But I cannot stand that. So I guess I'm asking for compromise. I will, and I'm 48. Mm-hmm. Gosh knows I'm not the same man I was on the radio 15 years ago as I am now on my talk show. I've evolved. There are things I never say anymore that I used to say all the time on the old show and thought it was great and got laughs and thought I was cute and I was an idiot, and I've evolved, thankfully. So I'll evolve if you'll promise not to just run out and try to get me terminated. Let's talk it out first, and then if you don't like what I say, okay, cool, complain to the boss. But otherwise, don't be a jerk like that because you're a different word.
I saw a clip on Bill Burr the other day, and Bill Burr was talking about when Sean Connery died. You know that this one lady came on. There was like a Karen or whatever, and saying, you know, we're really going to celebrate this man that was supporting domestic violence and all this stuff. And I didn't know what he was talking about. And I went back and found the clip of Sean Connery with Barbara Walters saying that every now and then you got to give him a little slap, you know? And, and he stuck to it. Oh. Like he stuck to the guns of what he was saying. And and back then there was no cancel culture.
No.
You're talking about this is mid-'80s.
Yeah.
Let me say this. There should have been on that. That guy was an asshole.
Well, yeah.
Sean Connery?
Well, I mean, Sean Connery.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
So Bill Burr is telling this story, right? And Bill Burr is like, you know, he's all across the board. He don't care. He's just saying whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, I go, this can't be right. And I look and I'm like, I'll be danged. There's a video of him actually saying, yeah, you know, every now and then they got to go to give him a slap, blah, 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 and you get out of line and all that stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute.
We need more Sean Connery on this show.
He'd never get.
Oh my gosh.
He would never get away with it now.
Oh, no way.
But see,
No
here's
way.
the thing.
No way.
This cancel culture, it's become this negative phrase now, and I hate that phrase. Some people don't need to have an outlet. Some people do need to get in legitimate trouble, you know?
Yeah.
Because now what happens
Sad to
now
say,
is
but yeah.
people will actually say stupid things. Actual racists will now complain,
Yeah.
oh, how dare you call out my racism? That's cancel culture. No, you're just a racist asshole. So there's examples of both. But the thing that drives me the craziest about where we are socially in this country is today is we overcorrect everything.
Yeah,
right? Let's just rip. This is in Bill Burr's genius at trying to make these points. Let's just forget the person ever existed because one time he said, I give him a little schlep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
But how many movies did he make that you liked? 50? I think Bill Burr's saying, look, and Bill Burr can defend himself, but I think the point is, like, fine, you don't have to condone that, but that doesn't mean look at some musical playlists. Do you have Michael Jackson in your playlist?
Yep.
Right.
I mean, do you have? Do you? Oh, how dare you?
Yeah,
Ernie?
no.
You shouldn't be listening to Michael Jackson. See.
Oh yeah.
Why, we don't know these people, so I enjoyed their movies. You know, I mean, the Ranger.
Bill Cosby.
Well, yeah. I mean, I loved Bill Cosby back in the day, and I'm not going to sit up here and say all of a sudden that he had no impact on the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but no, you know what? Never mind. Bill Cosby was not America's father. Actually, he was for a long time. He was. I loved Cliff Huxtable. I loved the family values that were preached on that show. God knows I didn't have any at my mama's house. The Cosby Show helped me get through the 80s sane. So that I'm not going to go break bread with the man.
Yeah.
I don't want him to come over and date my daughter, but his show was funny, and I learned a lot of good family, wholesome moral values from watching the Cosby Show because I can separate the man's art from the man.
Fat Albert. I mean,
See,
all
that's
the
great.
stuff that he did.
That's great.
But that's what not a lot of people cannot do.
But they're wrong. They're wrong.
That's absolutely right.
And even you know what? Maybe their opinion's not wrong, but you don't get the right to ruin my life because of your thought.
At the same time, have a conversation about it rather than go and put them on blast, or unfriend them because they don't believe in the same thing you believe in. At least be able to have the conversation.
Well, it's easy to just hit. It's easy to hit unfriend. It's easy to get on your keyboard and type something on your phone.
Did I tell you how I had to defend myself in the ICU? Did I mention that?
You did say that the other day.
Yeah. I was like,
During COVID.
Yeah, I was like, this one guy, I don't want to go over it again, but it's like the guy just was like on me, like, first of all, you don't know me,
right?
You don't know me, and then you get to a bitter place. Like, that was something I really had to give to God because I was becoming real bitter and angry that I felt like I couldn't defend myself because I'm dying. I mean, I'm like literally trying to breathe and I had to go and defend myself.
Yeah. Well, the vaccination, that whole thing with the different vaccines and the efficacy and one dose, two dose, and not anti-vax. I mean, that was such a crazy polarizing time anyway.
Yeah.
But it was, and a lot's now come out about the vaccine in recent months.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It makes me wonder whether I should have got it at all. I did, both times, and the booster, just to be safe. I don't think it ruined my health, but did it really prevent me from getting uber sick? Maybe. I don't know. But we're not allowed to say we don't know in this country.
Any heart problems or anything?
Nah, I'm good.
Right.
That's good. I got this one marked on my butt cheek.
Oh,
that wasn't from the vaccine.
That was from Dallas.
Yeah. It's one night in Mexico. I got this tattoo. Had to cover it up with No, man. Look, we got to lighten the freak up.
There we go.
We got to pick and choose what we want to ruin. Look. Harvey Weinstein, he's a sick maniac, and he's where he belongs, and that's rotting in a jail cell. But have I enjoyed some of his movies? Well, yes. Doesn't make
he's
me.
Gone, right? Is he?
Harvey, are you thinking of Jeffrey Epstein?
Oh,
yeah, Weinstein's
the
still,
movie
mogul.
He's around.
He's still there?
Behind bars.
I thought he committed suicide.
In a walker.
No,
Jeffrey Epstein
did that.
Okay.
Yeah. There was never any reason to like him. I never even heard of Jeffrey Epstein until he was involved in all that mess. Harvey Weinstein's an example. I'm sorry, he produced Good Will Hunting. I love that movie. I can quote the whole thing. I don't support Harvey Weinstein's off-the-field actions, but he entertained me when he made Good Will Hunting, and thank God he did. It's like we gotta be able to compartmentalize things that we don't know. That's just it. We don't.
That's true.
Who are you to all of a sudden you have the authority to ruin someone's life? Well, and here's the other thing: people shouldn't have the authority to ruin your life, but companies freak out. Sponsors will freak out. Oh, my gosh. Look at the Bud Light fiasco and how they handled that. That was the worst way to handle. We're going to take a stand. Oh, a lot of people are mad. Oh, we want to support them too. Can we just support both? It's too late, but the Bud Light botched that from the beginning.
And they're giving away beer now. Let's give it away.
Right.
And they literally couldn't give it away.
No, and that would have gone away had they just been like, yeah, we did support her, but whatever. And just let it go. Silence is your friend, But no, let's just stick both feet in the crap and just piss off everybody. And they deserve that bad PR that they got. Not that Bud Light's going out of business anytime soon. So here's an example. I don't like Bud Light, right? I don't like the beer. Not much. There's so much better beer. I think they were stupid in how they handled that. The
marketing,
the trans influencer on TikTok or whatever that was. That doesn't mean if I go to your house and you offer me a Bud Light, I'm going to say, oh, no, man. Oh, bro, we don't roll that way. I only drink Freedom beer.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not going to do that. Bud Light were idiots how they handled that. I'm still going to drink the product if I go to Ernie's house and he serves me a Bud Light. It's stupid. It's stupid.
It's actually right.
I can tell my children what to do. I can kind of negotiate with my girlfriend on what we should be doing. Outside of that, who the hell am I to judge anybody for anything? Don't infringe upon my rights. Don't hurt me. And we become this thing where you're either all over here or all over there, and and us in the middle are just left watching this ridiculous tennis match between these two loud, small, barking dogs. And I don't know where it ends. I don't know how. It drives me up
That's
the wall.
true. I mean,
Well, marketing classes, professors will be teaching about that Bud Light story for decades to come. Just you know,
Sure.
what
Just
happened,
Just
how
own
it
something.
should have been handled.
Own something.
Best
You're
practices.
Budweiser. You're not going out of business. You're not
No.
going to go out of business.
No.
If you decide to take a stand, then take the stand. Now, if you have new information, you change your opinion. Have the guts to change your opinion later on. But the way they handled it was just so wussified.
when I saw Travis Tritt cancel the whole Bud Light sponsorship thing on his tour, I was like, Travis Tritt still around?
Travis Tritt.
Yeah,
Oh, like,
that was an
wow.
opportunity for him to remind everybody, hey, remember me?
Yeah, I was like, okay. I was
Then you
like,
get the exploiters, then you get y'all Morgan Wallen, who's a good country
yes,
singer,
a country
whose
singer.
music I don't hate. It's that bro country from Nashville
Yeah.
that
Yeah, yeah.
manufactured country, but I don't hate it. It's catchy. It's like pop. It's pop country.
Yeah.
Morgan drops the N-bomb one night, drunk off his ass outside of his porch when he's coming home from a night on the town. Hey, N-bomb, ha. He was calling a white kid that, because he's an idiot. And the neighbor heard it, rolled on it with her phone, posted on TikTok, and the whole country explodes. Morgan Wallen, racist. Oh, my gosh. And so what do his fans do? They crashed his website buying his gear.
All of his stuff.
Let's not champion the man's racism at the same. Oh, it's like we want to overcorrect. Oh, Taylor, you're right. You're right. We shouldn't just cancel everybody. So I'm going to go buy 55 Morgan Wallen shirts to support racism. We're not saying you should do that either, but we shouldn't ruin the man's career at the same
Right.
time. There's no gray area anymore.
True.
And I don't know why we can't get out of that.
Yep.
I don't have the answers. I just know the problems like everybody else.
Yes.
Or will we ever get out of it?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm ready for our AI overlords just to take over. It's
Just
fine.
do the
Whatever.
show. Just do the show.
Just tell me what to do.
Yeah,
Are you ready for one of these days? There's going to be a time, if you live to be 90 probably, or a drone's going to come bring your mail to your house. Drop your mail. Wow. You ready for that? Yeah.
Amazon packages
man.
and everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I guess we're getting back into technology from last week. But
No, that's okay.
No, from Tuesday. But I just get these are. I don't think I'm not spewing anything that's poignant right
No.
now. I'm not going to.
Well, no, it's a hot
I don't-
topic right now. It's what's
Yeah,
trending.
but my opinion's that let's just shut the hell up and just be a grown up about the whole thing and mature.
Let's just dance.
Why is that? Why can't that be?
Let's just dance.
I mean, it's not like I'm preaching the gospel here. To me, this should seem obvious to any thinking person who's over, 12. Morgan Wallen should have said that.
You say preaching the gospel. That's a whole other bag there too.
man, Morgan Wallen shouldn't drop an N-bomb,
Right.
Yeah.
But does that mean we take all of his music
That's
off
the
of
thing.
Spotify?
You're
and
supposed to
No.
live life without making a mistake, Mike. That's the whole thing now. You got to live life without making a mistake.
I do.
I make mistakes every day. I'm sorry.
If I can't go through this world just being who I
Yeah.
am and trying to evolve and learn and listen
Yeah.
and be patient, I'm preaching patience and restraint, so I need to do it too. If I can't grow up and be who I am
Yeah.
in this world and be comfortable in my own skin, and I still just get canceled out, so be it. I'm not gonna kowtow to what anyone thinks that I should be. Because God knows I'm not perfect,
Yeah.
and I own my stuff. I own my opinions. That's what drives me nuts is like the bad light thing. Take a stand, and then if you're going to take it, take it. If you're not, then don't ever take one. Stay in the background.
It's like you said right now. God only knows because, I tell you what, there's a lot. It's like, not to get preachy, but if cast the first stone without sin.
Yeah.
Who's going to do that?
No.
That'd be everybody throwing rocks at everybody.
I also think it's people that go online to attack us or anyone.
Oh, yeah.
It's a defense. It's projection. Is that the right word? It's like
Cowardice?
It's like my road rage theory. If you
Right.
cut somebody off in traffic,
Right.
beep,
Yeah.
you son of a mother,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. They don't really think that about you. They're just stressed out.
They're just upset.
Their issues,
It's in the
they
moment.
need to take
No.
it out. They need to project it
Right.
to others to feel better. That's all this keyboard warrior
That-
crap. That's why no one's ever actually approached you on the street. Hey, you should have got the vaccine, dummy. No, it ain't never going to happen because they say what they said on Facebook. Who cares what happens to you? They don't care about you.
Right.
It's about them getting their
I'm
little
even sure
frustrations
if
out.
I run into him in person, it's a different tune.
Yeah. No, but
Of course it would be.
Well, but this is what I tell my kids, my middle schoolers about bullying right now is more times than not, you would probably be surprised that these kids don't really mean these terrible things or they don't know what's happening. They probably have something negative happening in their life. We don't know what's happening at their house
Yeah.
or in their life. And
That's how my
they're
kids
12
are
or
too.
13. They're still learning, but maybe they're projecting it onto another person by bullying them in the middle of the middle school hallway, make a spectacle out of it, make them look better or whatever, popular or whatever, or cool at somebody else's expense. When in reality, similar to the keyboard warriors out there, they're dealing with their own stuff at home.
Somehow we've lost this thing called forgiveness. And this country used to be a forgiving country. We are.
Second chances, too.
Yeah, that's another thing. Celebrities are so worried about getting canceled, to use that term,
Yep.
that they don't handle when they screw up. They don't handle it right either. Oh God, I'm cheating on my wife and she hit me in the head with a golf club and it's all over the news. Oh, I have a sexual compulsion. I'm going to go to rehab. That's how I handle it. No, Tiger Woods, he just liked to have sex. He shouldn't have been married. He was just horn dog.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm addicted to sex. Now, get the hell you addicted to sex? Shut up. Somebody. And he handled that horribly. Celebrities don't handle it right either. Oh well, I've been drinking too much beer. I didn't mean to drop no N-bomb. I just need to go to rehab. Yeah, they always go to rehab. That's the answer. I didn't mean to. I'm a victim of society too.
Yeah.
It's just all of it drives me insane, and this is why I'm so thankful I can bitch about this with you boys. Thank you.
Glad we could provide this outlet here for you. Please continue.
Continue venting.
We didn't even offer LG any pan dulce
Some
here.
pan dulce. Here you go.
He's
Yeah,
working.
he
He's,
gets
working.
some.
He's working so hard here.
There you go, sir.
Go ahead. Go ahead and let me cut a little bit of this here while
There you
we're
go.
giving a plug to our sponsor.
He's just upset because I got cold and I borrowed his hoodie today
Is that
because I'm
empanada?
cold
pumpkin empanada.
and I'm sweating in it. And I don't have an
take care of
undershirt.
that.
Oh,
on.
there it is
You may
again.
have to wash
There it
this,
is again.
dude. Yeah, I'd
LG,
wash
here
this
you
if
go,
I
my
were
friend.
you.
Knock yourself out.
We've lost the ability to we don't compartmentalize anything. Everything.
Yeah.
But we're all pent up with stress. And we take it out on others and we project our own stress to others who we think, oh, how dare you wrong me or whatever. And somehow we've got to make America moderate again. About that. That's my political slogan.
Are you running for office?
No,
Wait a minute.
You can't win a campaign with that slogan. It's not possible.
Mike Taylor for president.
No, you got to be. No, you start Googling me, I'm eliminated. But you either you either way left or you're way right. If you're anywhere in the middle, you ain't gonna win no elections anyway.
True.
And I don't have $80 million, so I can't run for nothing.
You don't have a war chest somewhere.
No, that's the way it goes.
All right. So we're stuck with you then. Here is what you're saying.
You are, yeah. You
we
are.
barely have the 3 cents, so much less $80 million.
No, yeah. So no $80 million. And I damn sure wouldn't spend it on wasting my life running for office.
Oh gosh.
Because I'm also not a narcissist, which you have to be to run for office now too. Because why would you want to get in the middle of that rat race unless you're nuts? Anyway, that being said, hope everybody voted last Tuesday.
Yeah. Kids are out of school on Tuesday.
That's right.
Now, what is that about?
Well, no, because
Okay, explain that to me. You know more about this than
I believe, and again, I'll be corrected by our wonderful viewers if this is not the case.
Yeah.
I think it's related to school safety, and I don't want to say it's post-Uvalde or whatever, but I think a couple of years ago, the decision was made because so many of these elementary and middle school campuses are polling places.
I see.
And
they vote on campus.
They vote.
Okay.
I voted Tuesday at my kid's old elementary school in the gym.
Oh, okay. Okay, I should have known
And
that.
no.
Now
Well,
I
of course,
feel
no.
dumb.
That's something you haven't had elementary school kids.
It's been a minute,
And
yeah.
It's been a minute. But they didn't want hundreds of, strangers, but also voters walking up into the school.
Sure.
Because
Makes sense.
all of the polling, the voting machines are inside the campus.
Makes sense.
And so they said, you know what, we're not going to do this, so we're going to make it a district holiday. I don't think every district does this. But in Northside, I know the kids were out on Tuesday. And so
Right, yeah. Nina's son's in Northside.
And so next year when the presidential election happens in November, there will not be school on that Tuesday, and
because they need the campus. Churches and libraries, I know, but I guess.
Well, so early voting.
So many
early
schools.
voting happens at churches and libraries typically.
Oh, okay.
But they have to have more polling places on election day. Thus, the elementary and middle schools are in play. And
Yep.
Did you guys ever run for anything in school? City council president, student body president? I said city council, student council president.
Yeah. I like to sit back and judge. No, I have never had that inkling.
I never had that in me either.
Jefferson High School class president? No.
No.
A lot of it was probably just confidence, maybe. I don't know.
I just thought about.
I didn't want to be around a bunch of
girls.
teachers.
I
Just thought about girls.
That was it.
Yeah.
The Lassos, right? And Jefferson?
Did you
Yep,
run for any
Lassos.
city council or student council in Victoria, wherever you went
Will
to
this
school?
surprise you to know that I was student council president and vice president
Okay.
at a little bitty St. Joseph High School?
No,
in
that's cool.
Victoria.
So what
that's
did
a
you
shocker.
do?
That's a shocker. Ernie.
I always thought we're going to get in there and then the teacher's just going to tell us what we're doing anyway.
Essentially, that's what happened.
You're not going to be able to get Taco Bell in the cafeteria like you promised in the speech.
We want longer lunch breaks and we want off-campus lunches. And, and politicians always do this with their hands.
Yeah.
They
How old
look at
were
the
you?
camera. And, I was in high school.
Oh,
so.
high school. Okay.
But I remember we would put campaign posters up in the hallways, and I had like.
Is it Marshall? Where'd you go?
No, I was in Victoria, St. Joe.
Okay.
But I grew up a fan of John Kennedy and Richard Nixon. I had a poster, "I'm not a crook," and like the way he was like, and but then my initials are EZ, so I would always have a slogan with EZ
That's
in
cool.
it. It's easy to vote for Ernie, for whatever.
Yeah, DJ Easy repping. I'll
So-
put Taco Bell in the cafeteria. You watch.
Yeah, we didn't get Taco Bell in the cafeteria, but because people have told me, just kind of being a public figure, if you will, in recent years, that I should run for city council, run for office, and that does not interest me.
You shouldn't.
Huh?
See, that's an office that you could afford to run for.
Well, yeah,
it doesn't require millions of dollars.
Well, it's not that, but I've interviewed enough council members and elected officials in this, and I'm on record as I respect people who run. Forget the political affiliation. I don't really care, blue, red, whatever.
Yeah.
People who devote themselves, because it takes such a toll on the family life and your social life, and you got to raise all the money, and you got to knock on the doors and street walk and all that stuff, campaigning. City council terms in San Antonio are only 2 years. So you win, and then 6 months later, you're already thinking about campaigning for the second term.
Yeah.
And so while, again, I appreciate the people who do it, and I admire that call to service, it's not something that I would be interested in at this time.
Well, and the thing, and going back to what I said earlier about you need to be a narcissist, I hope I didn't offend any local people. I mean, I was on a national scale for sure. I think they're all nuts, and that's unfortunate because normal people cannot run for office as much as it's not as prevalent as it should be in this country.
Right.
We're only less than 1% of this country can even run for some sort of an office.
Right.
And then if you do decide to run, even if you're, and by the way, and I'll catch hell for saying this, I think Mayor Ron's awesome. I've hung out with Mayor Ron. He's as normal as a politician gets.
Yep.
He's been on my show. He's sitting there in a
Ripped.
a Van Halen T-shirt from his garage, and he did my show, and we talked about the Spurs. It was great, and the downtown arena. It was great. He was the most normal politician I've ever been around, not that I've been around a lot.
Right.
But I just get the sense that you can't be a normal human being and run for office anymore. And even if you do decide to run for office, you've now set yourself up, even if you just do a 2-year term, the rest of your life, you're that scumbag liberal or you're that whack job Republican. No matter what party you are, half the city now thinks you're a bad person.
Yeah.
And that's crap.
You've alienated half of
this goes back to what we just said about how we just overjudge everything when we don't even know what the blank we're talking about. Oh, Ernie's a Republican. Yeah, clearly he's racist. Clearly he's only for the rich people. And he's just out of touch Mexicano. Or if he becomes a liberal, he's just one of those just icky liberals. I can't be in a room with you. So half the city thinks you literally are a horrible human.
Right, and seriously,
That's where we are. It's
Yeah.
insane.
No, it's tough. It's tough. So, at any rate, I have nothing to announce here, and Mike apparently is not running for office.
No, because
Glad
I don't want to be literally, I'd be despicable to half the city. I'm good.
You'd have to wear a suit all the time too.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be good. I'd be like that John Fetterman wearing a
I was
hoodie.
gonna say, Senator Fetterman.
No. And I'll say this: he's a slob. I don't like that. I don't
hoodie
like
look?
that. I don't love it. No.
Well, didn't they tweak the dress code?
Respect the office, man.
They tweaked the dress code on the in the Senate chamber because he wanted to be able to wear the hoodies and everything.
Yeah. It shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to wear Prada all day or anything. But come on, man.
All right.
I said, come on, bro. Respect that house.
You can wear a
Respect
hoodie
that
here.
land.
You can wear a
yes,
hoodie
sir,
here.
You
though.
can. Yes, sir.
All right, so there you have it.
Yeah, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've eaten all the sweet bread that we can.
Yeah.
Because
You gonna go throw up? Keep it skinny.
yeah, clearly, as you can see, LG did not use a slimming camera as I asked him to this week. So at any rate, we've had a great time here.
Yeah.
Really
Is
appreciate
is
it.
it time already?
What are
I
we
think-
turning in? We're turning into like the man view.
Yeah, we are.
Well,
I don't want to be Whoopi though. I'm not Whoopi.
yeah.
I was going to
I
stop
don't want to
us.
be Joey Behar.
No, we're not going to do that. But I was going to stop us because it's going to get dark soon. Now that it gets
Oh,
dark,
yeah,
and, you know,
that's right.
Yeah.
I'm looking outside.
I'm gonna go work out. I feel horrible after that Bondusan.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I'll think about working out. We'll see.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a lot of fun, and we will be back again next Tuesday for another all-new episode of 3 Cents Podcast. So for now, ladies and gentlemen,
I would vote for you, Ernie. I would vote for you
I appreciate that. So I've got one vote,
because it's easy.
maybe two. Thank you. Now I see what you did there. Very
Stop,
good.
Hello.
Stop labeling everybody.
Oh. For Cleto Rodriguez and Mike Taylor, LG right over there across
Bye,
the way with
guys.
the sweet bread. Thank you to our friends here at Mi Familia, to Integrity Roofing
up.
and Siding, to the Suarez family. We'll see you next time right here on the 3 Cents Podcast.
Three Cents Podcast is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Siding.